Hello guys, welcome back to algebra class. So today we are going to learn about domain and range part 2. So let's get started. First, let's find domain of this graph, okay? As I said, domain is set of x values, so we are going to highlight these x values, okay? And only thing that we have to find is the starting point and end point of this graph. So let's look at this. The problem we have is now we have this arrow, which means for the x values, this one is keep going to the left. I mean, it's obviously going down, but at the same time, it's keep going to the left. So we start this one from negative infinity to it's keep going to the right because of this arrow, so it's keep going to the right, so it's gonna be negative infinity to positive infinity. That's the domain. And we do not put equal sign here because you cannot include infinity. Now, mathematicians are lazy. Therefore, they do not want to write infinity sign every single time. And the problem of this one is you're writing infinity twice. So they're going to be even lazier. So what they're going to write is R, which means all real number. So this one stands for all real numbers. So X can be any real numbers, like all real numbers. That's what it means. Now let's try to find range of the graph. Now, what is that gonna be? What's the lowest point of this one? Again, there's no lowest point because it's keep going down, right? So same thing, negative infinity. And there's no highest point as well because it's keep going up just to the positive infinity. So it's gonna be positive infinity like that. And good. It's gonna be all real number again because range is keep going down and it's keep going up. So that is the domain and range, right? Now question number 2. Same thing. Let's try to find domain. But this one has a starting point here, okay? Here. It starts from negative 4. Now this is an open circle, so I'm gonna put I cannot put line underneath it. And it's keep going to the right, right? Domain is left and right. It's going up, but at the same time it's keep going to the right. So it's going to the infinity, okay? But as I said, mathematicians are lazy, so they're gonna write this part. But we also have a problem. We wanna make it look nicer, which means we want to write variable first, like x first. So we're gonna flip it. X is greater than negative 4, like that, okay? Now let's do the range. So range, we're gonna use these numbers that are highlighted in green. And same thing, where does it start? It starts from negative 1 less than y. Now, let's keep going up, as you can see, because range is bottom to top. It's keep going up to positive infinity. And as you know, this is gonna be the range, the number that we're gonna use only. So it's gonna be y is greater than negative 1. You flip it, because you wanna write variable first, right? So we are done with the domain and range of this basic. Now let's try this. Now domain. By the way, this one is what we call parabola. U-shaped graph. Parabola. Let's look at the domain here, okay? Now domain. Where does it start from the left? it starts from negative infinity, because do you see this one's keep going, it's going up, but it's keep going to the left slowly, like that. Like this one is slowly going to the left, so it starts from negative infinity. And where does it end? On the right side. Same thing, keep going to the right. So it's gonna be, so negative infinity to positive infinity. So that's what this is. And so this one is what we call a real number. And for the range, it's this. We're gonna highlight this. Now, bottom to top. Now, do you see this lowest number, -3? So we start from -3. Now, this is a line. And we consider line as a closed circle, like that, okay? And what's the highest point? Again, range is the bottom to top. So bottom is -3, and it's keep going up to positive infinity, like that. So that's gonna be the range. And this, if you flip it, it's gonna be y is greater than equal to -3. So that is gonna be the answer for this one. So that's the range. Let's look at this. What's the domain gonna be, guys? Look at these two arrows, right? Left and right. You don't even have to think. Just like this one, it's gonna be negative infinity to positive infinity. So domain is gonna be all real number. Let's talk about the range. Bottom to top. What's the lowest point this graph can get? Let's keep going down, isn't it? It's bottomless. It's keep going down, like bottom. Negative infinity. To, what's the highest point this one can get? Just keep going down, and then at some point, this is the highest point, which is 4. And again, we consider this line as a closed circle, so we're gonna put line underneath it. Now, just like usual, mathematicians are lazy, so they are gonna use only this part. Now, do we have to flip it? Just like here? No. Because as you can see, y comes first already, right? If you look at here, y comes on the right, like, or late, like number comes first and then y. But if you look at here, y comes first and then number. So we don't have to change anything. You just write it here. Unlikely for here, including this inequality symbol, you literally have to switch everything. All right, try question on the right by yourself, okay? Pause the video, try the questions by yourself. I will write down the answer for you, okay? That's the domain. Again, you should be doing this one by yourself, okay? Range is y is greater than equal to 0. Domain is a real number. Y is less than equal to 1. Is less than equal to 8. Okay, let's do this word problem. Even though I do not like to read this with my silly pronunciation, but I guess I have no choice, so I'm gonna read first one. The total cost of in dollar to buy textbooks for TJCA can be found using the function c equals 125t plus 8.25, where t is the number of the textbooks bought. If there are at least 14 students who needs textbooks, but no more than 19 students, what is the domain and range of the function for this situation? So we are trying to find domain and range of the function for this situation. Now, before we do it, we have to understand what is continuous, what is discrete. Then continuous is like this line, like that's the continuous. Discrete is points. Okay, so let's look at this question. T. This T stands for number of textbooks bought, right? According to this, where T is the number of textbooks bought. So let's look at T, like textbooks. Is that countable or not countable? It is countable, right? Like 1 textbook, 2 textbook, 3 textbooks. You can count it. In that case, we call it discrete. For me, the easiest way to determine that is using decimals. For example, 1.5 textbooks. Can you have 1.5 textbooks? No, you cannot. Because it's going to be worthless at that point. I mean, you're going to say, yes, it is possible, but technically it's not, because if you cut books in half, at that point, the book is pretty much useless. So 1.5 textbooks, we don't do it. We just say 1 textbook, 2 textbooks, 3 textbooks, okay? So this is discrete. So domain is gonna look like this. So you're gonna have at least 14 students, right? So at least 14. You can have 15 students. You may have 16 students. You may have 17 students, 18 students, but no more than 19 students. So this is gonna be the domain. For the range, it's simple. Do you see this equation? Let's copy this one down. C equals 125t plus 8.25. C represents the coast, and the coast is gonna be the range, okay? So let's do this. 125. So instead of t, now we're gonna put this x values, okay? So instead of t, I'm gonna use this time 14. So 125 times 14 plus 8.25. So let's use calculator, okay? 125 times 14 plus 8.25. We get 1,758.25. So that's the first number we have to write here. Oh, it's 758.25, comma. Well, same thing. You do it for every single number. So next one is going to be 15, but since we are out of time, I'm going to just do last number here. Okay? And you don't have to do every single thing. I want you to do like until 14, 15, 16, ... and 19, okay? So let's write it down. 125 times 15 plus 8.25 is what? 1,883.25. So I'm gonna write it down. Until here you go. That's it. So I hope this video helped. For every single question here, it's gonna be the same concept, okay? I'll just write down the domain for you because that one I can do it on top of my head. 12, 13, 14, until 18 students. Same thing here. Oh, this one can be difficult. So let's master this concept. The band booster ordered 200 playoff shirts. Now, X represents what according to this one? The shirts cost $1,200 to print and they are being sold for $15 each. Find the domain of this situation if these shirts can be modeled by in this. Oh, it's only asking for the domain. Never mind. So shirts can be sold by 15 each. So shirts, 1.5 shirts. Does it make sense? No, because 1.5 shirts does not make sense. Shirts goes by 1 shirt, 2 shirts, 3 shirts, and 4 shirts. So it's gonna be, so let's look at this. You bought 200 shirts and you're gonna sell it. What's the minimum amount of shirts that you can sell? 0, because you may not be able to sell any t-shirts. So we start from 0. Or you may sell 1 shirt or 2 shirts until you can sell entire 200 shirts. That's it. Okay? Now for the range, the question does not ask for the range. So you don't have to do it, but if you want to do it, here instead of X, let's copy this one down. But instead of X, you're gonna just write this one down like that, okay? Until like that, okay? Alright, that's it guys. I hope this one helped and have a great day.